In this video, we're going to look at adding and subtracting fractions. In order to do this, we need to make sure that we express the fractions in terms of the lowest common denominator, and then we're going to combine the numerators together. We're also going to make sure that our answer is in simplest form, and to simplify an algebraic fraction, you factorize it and cancel where possible. So let's go into our first example. I'll do a very simple addition of some fractions. So we'll do 2/5 plus 3 over a. Currently, the denominator on this fraction is 5 and this one is a. So in order to get the same denominator, I need to get 5a at the bottom of both. So I'm going to multiply all this fraction by a and this fraction by 5. So by multiplying, that gives me 2a over 5a. And then multiplying this fraction by 5 gives me 3 times 5, which is 15, over 5a. Now the denominators are the same, so I can now add the numerators to give me 2a plus 15, and I can put the whole thing divided by 5a. Okay, now let's look at another one, very similar scenario. So we're going to look at 3/4 plus 3 over x. Now in this case, I need to multiply this fraction by x and this fraction by 4, making sure that the denominator is 4x on the bottom. So doing that gives me 3x over 4x. Plus, now I'm going to multiply this whole fraction by 4, so that I've got the 4x on the bottom, 12 over 4x. Now I can combine the top together to give me 3x plus 12 divided by 4x, but we can see that the numerator has a common factor. I can actually pull out a 3 from the two terms within that and factorize it. Just looks much neater. Let's look at a subtraction now. So remember, with subtracting, the denominators need to be the same. So we can see here that I can actually keep this fraction the same and multiply this fraction by 2 so that the denominator becomes 4. So keep the first fraction the same, multiplied by double this whole fraction, and you can see that I've just times everything by 2. That gives me the denominator of 4. So now the numerator is just 3 minus 2a over 4. Okay, now let's move on to a much more complicated simplification of adding fractions together. You can see here that the denominator of this one's 2 and that's 5. So the lowest common denominator between those is 10. So to get 10, I need to multiply this whole fraction by 5. So I'll do that first. Now you can either do it straight away or you can just write it like that in factorized form. And then to get denominator of 10 here, I need to multiply this fraction by 2. So 2x minus 2 all divided by 10. So now, in order to simplify, I'm going to multiply out the brackets. So the numerator there gives me 5x plus 15 plus 2x minus 4, and it's all divided by 10. And of course, I'm now going to simplify the numerator. 5x plus 2x is 7x, and then 15 minus 4 is 11. So 7x plus 11 all divided by 10. And the last one I'm going to do involves fractions with expressions on the bottom. So in order to get the same denominators, I need to multiply this whole fraction by this denominator, which is x plus 2. And then this fraction, I need to multiply it by this number, x minus 6, to get the same denominator. So I'll just do that. So I get 3 bracket x plus 2 on this side, divided by x plus 2 times x minus 6. Oops. Minus 2 times x minus 6 over x plus 2, x minus 6. Okay, so now let's multiply the numerator. So 3x plus 6 minus 2x plus 12. Don't forget this is take away and this is 2 times minus 6. It's minus 2 times minus 6 gives you the plus 12. All divided by the same denominator, which is x plus 2 times x minus 6. The numerator can be simplified. We can see that we can collect together the like terms. So 3x minus 2x just leaves us with x, and 6 plus 12 gives us plus 18, and obviously divided by x plus 2 times x minus 6.